Welcome to the Strategies of Football, the San Francisco 49ers at the LA Rams. In this game, we're going to strictly look at the coach's tape and show you what the game plan was through the lens of what happened through the coach's tape. This is not biased or hyperbole. This is looking at what the actual events happened on the field, drawing up what they were trying to do, and drawing up what actually happened. Please enjoy Strategies of Football, Niners at Rams. For years, the Shanahan system has been noted by no-name running backs getting huge yardage. But this is why you go out and you get Christian McCaffrey. This is a play that's horribly blocked, very poorly done, should be a 2-yard loss that McCaffrey turns into 7. Throughout this game, the Rams are going to get reminded that Christian McCaffrey is the best running back they're going to face. And in this play, it's just an example of how they underestimate his speed getting to the outside. We're going to break down what the Rams do in a failure in this situation and what the Niners do well to set this up. So what we're going to see here is their two linebackers are ultimately going to end up, depending upon the play action, they're going to come in and play it because, let's face it, the Niners are a running team. And the Niners are also going to give you a running motion to it, as we're going to have two pulls across here to make it look like, hey, this is just a basic counter cutback, get over here. But as the play goes on and it becomes apparent that it is a play fake, the true failure in this action is going to be right here. At this point in the play, we are already behind Christian McCaffrey and our hips are not spun. McCaffrey is going this way no matter what. And the linebacker has not opened himself up to go run him down. And the bottom line is everyone thinks that McCaffrey isn't super fast, but he gets the corner on you, and because of that, he gets a lot of extra yardage. The number one job of any offense is to make life difficult for the defense so you can move the ball easier around. This here is an example of how to make life incredibly easy for the defense in one fell bad coaching decision. And that decision is right here. We have not just one, not just two, but three receivers all converging to the same point in front of Ramsey. Who on the earth is designing a play to have three receivers in the same spot unless you're wanting Ramsey to intercept it? The only reason this ball isn't intercepted is because the ball's thrown poorly. If that's a decent thrown ball, Ramsey's running the thing into the end zone right now. This is absolute horrible offensive design, and it's happening across the league more and more often. San Francisco gets creative with the delayed safety blitz here, but Matt Stafford perfectly reads it, finds Higbee on the screen, and just makes things happen. For those worried about Matthew Stafford's arm, this play right here should be pretty safe saying don't. That's a strong arm strength throw he puts in great location. And we hope that you like this video by clicking like and subscribe. Christian McCaffrey makes a big play here off of the back of the Rapp and Ramsey's missed tackles here. And what I really want to highlight is this missed tackling pandemic is going across the league. People keep trying to lunge at people's ankles. And the thing is, when you lunge at someone's ankles, unless they're moving in a straight line quickly, you have to bring significant force to the impact or it will not work. And neither Ramsey nor Rapp were willing to do it. Kyle Shanahan is like a kid on Christmas morning who just got a brand new toy and he wants to play with it. Hey dad, do you know that Christian McCaffrey can also throw the ball 40 yards in the air for a perfect touchdown? It's awesome. The Niners are doing a cover zero blitz, meaning that all the receivers are going to be covered in man coverage. In this route, you do see the Rams run three receivers all next to each other and quickly get out of the area. So I'm going to show what makes this play different than what the Niners did earlier in the game where Jalen Ramsey should have had a pick six. So right here, we see all of the receivers in their at their closest point. So the key difference here is that they don't stay there. First off, we have continuous motion going here, and they're not sitting in one spot. They all are going through and out. And really, what this whole cluster right here is trying to create is difficulty for the man cover on 18, which is right here, to be anywhere near the coverage. If this were a blank situation where your receiver is 5 yards away, it's going to be an easy first down every single time you throw the ball. And that's why this concept works correctly. Effectively, what they're doing is a moving pick with Cooper Kupp. And the one thing that I love about Cooper Kupp that we're going to emphasize on the next show through is his shoulder that is engaged with the guy who's covering him is constantly dipped that way to give the impression that there's holding on him all the time. It's a veteran savvy move to get a flag. We're going to use this play as a teaching play because the Rams do an absolute phenomenal play action job because of the way that they have their entire line do the run block, and as well as the running back obviously giving the fake. Normally when we see play actions, it's just a motion between the back and the quarterback, and it's kind of halved. But at the end of the day, when the whole line is moving, everyone buys in. And then not to mention, you have the best receiver in the world out there catching the balls right now. So I wanted to highlight this because when the whole line moves in unison like it's a run, it opens up the pocket for Cooper Kupp. Yeah, sure, Cooper Kupp's amazing, but he's not this open without the offensive line doing its great thing. What also is great is clicking like and subscribe. This is one of the few times that the Rams are not getting double coverage on Cooper Kupp, and Matt Stafford takes perfect advantage of it. And there's two things I want to point out. Obviously, he runs right through the center of cover 2 zone, exploits the middle linebacker. But Burke never turns his head, for one. And for two, this is a perfect throw over the linebacker in the end zone and not throwing him out of it. Matt Stafford is back. Leonard Floyd is right here, and the Niners are living under this false security that because there are 2 tight ends here, that Leonard is far enough to the left that he possibly cannot get to Jimmy Garoppolo to make a sack in time. And oh, how wrong they are. At the start of this play, Jalen Ramsey is nowhere near the tackle box. In fact, he's on the far outside left covering a receiver. And what we're going to see is instincts that rival Troy Polamalu to get him into the play and jump in front of the passing lane. He gets his hand on this ball that he has no right of doing. He is so refined. The Rams begin to rely on end rounds from Cooper Kupp because their traditional running game just flat out is not working. And in this one, he's going to run to the bottom of the screen. They have 2 major problems with this end round here. First is that we are inherently relying on receivers to create a channel, and that is the most common holding penalty that you have in the NFL, is receivers on the outside trying to keep a fast linebacker from crossing his face. The second problem that we have here is that this tackle needs to do a reach block to the outside to prevent the penetration of the defensive end. And while it is successful on this play, it is a challenging block to make that also invites itself to a number of holding penalties. So even though this one gets you 5 yards, it's not really worth the risk. Not to mention you're letting the best receiver in football take an extra hit. Again, for a play that doesn't really have the upside, because by the time he gets to the sideline, there's nowhere to go upfield. In this play, the Niners are going to do a cover 1 blitz, where they're sending man-on-man. Every offensive lineman needs to pick up their guy and block him. Obviously, a hot read needs to be instilled upon this, and the Rams remind the NFL something that has long since been forgotten. A hot read does not need to be a lateral pass. It can be a downfield slant and actually get some yardage. And I'm really glad that this is being reminded to the NFL, because forever, teams are just coming out and destroying these lateral passes and not getting anything. This is a hot read route to Robinson, getting a huge play and a first down. We hope that you like our content and continue to subscribe. Christian McCaffrey must have like a 6th sense for pain, because right here, as he's about to catch his ball, he should get absolutely destroyed by Nick Scott right here on a straight beeline. And somehow McCaffrey not only knows it's coming, but gets it so that Scott doesn't even touch him and then picks up an additional 10 yards. This dude is so massively talented, and he really could tip the balance of power in this division. San Francisco is on a high ride now, and this guy can take them far. So we're going to show here a play that's been commonly run across the last couple of weeks in the NFL. This is a play where the guard is going to come out, kick out here, and most teams, I'm going to draw it in orange to indicate the difference, most teams have been coming out with a tackle to pull up field to take this backside linebacker. The problem that many teams have been experiencing, Dallas being the prime example if you want to watch that, is that the tackle is not athletic to do that turn and come up. So rather, what the Niners do, which is incredibly smart, is they use their tight end, who's a more athletic person in the first place, to come up and make this block. It's incredibly well designed, looking at what is working around the league and how to improve it based upon your personnel. Not to mention the fact that Wilson is an incredibly quick guy through the hole. Jimmy Garoppolo has only played with Christian McCaffrey for 2 games now, but he already has an insane amount of faith in him. I pause it right here because this is the moment where the drawn element of the play is over, and they now are going to resort to the rules that they are taught in practice and as a game plan. And for what the Niners are teaching is go to the hole in the defense, which right here is that hole in which they are going to. There are 2 Niners which are going to do this. Right here and McCaffrey coming up. And the fact that Garoppolo is already confident knowing that not only is McCaffrey going to follow the rules, but he'll go up and get a jump ball, that is crazy. And also, by the way, McCaffrey's setting up the fake of him passing the ball again like he did for his touchdown earlier in the game. All the way around, a great play. To all those D coordinators who want to draw up a party in the backfield, here's a great way to do it. Get 2 players on the right moving to the left so that the whole line shifts, and then have the most athletic player in your defense come around to the outside, having a guard who's all tumbled up and backwards, trying to get a hold of him. It's just not going to work. And when we look at this, Fred Warner is just eating him up for lunch, and Stafford has no chance. This Niner front is really, really scary. We hope that you're enjoying our content. Please leave us a comment. Even when Christian McCaffrey was held hostage in Carolina, he still should have been the first pick in every fantasy draft. But now that he's with Kyle Shanahan, this is just scary how good he'll be. Whatever tiff Sean McVay and Cam Akers is having has to stop, because their lack of a running game is destroying this team. This is not a bad play by the offense. The defense is going to make plays on you on the NFL, and if you can't convert first downs because you're predictable, you can't win. Sean McVay and Cam Akers need to learn to play nice if they want to salvage this season. We're going to spotlight Gibson in this play, and he is covering Higbee here in man-to-man coverage. And one of the things that we're going to show is that the Rams are really good at these moving pick plays. As you say, Gibson tackles his own guy there. And this is an example of just because the outcome and execution didn't work doesn't mean that the play design was wrong. If Higbee catches this ball, he is running for miles and miles. Derion Kendrick is the person we're going to want to spotlight in this play. The Niners are doing a combination of an out route and an over the top. This is the point in the game where the Niners are up by a touchdown and a half. We kind of need to explore to make something happen and to try to get us back in this game. The problem with this particular coverage the Rams are running, at least for Kendrick's sake, is that it's cover 1 and he has no protection over the top. So when he lets off his man to cheat for the pick, he basically gave the game away. Trying to go all in to win the game obviously can be beneficial when it works, but when it doesn't, it only takes half a step to have any NFL quarterback beat you over the top. This play is all about Nick Bosa coming off that left edge. To be considered the best defensive lineman in football, you have to be the best one on the field every game. And he was better than Aaron Donald in this game, and he is the best defensive lineman in football going right now, Mr. Nick Bosa. What we really saw in that game was what happens when one team has a balanced offense and the other team does not. Is Jimmy Garoppolo a better quarterback in terms of passing and arm talent than Matthew Stafford? Of course not. It's not even close. Matthew Stafford made throws in this game that are unheard of, that are elite level, that's fighting with Hall of Famers in the game. And Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't. He was just throwing to open men because he had time and protection. On that note, Nick Bosa played vastly better than Aaron Donald, and the Rams secondary flat out did not want to tackle. So when you combine all of those elements, the fact that the Niners had a running game and they just kept using a sledgehammer into the Rams, and then when they needed something, Garoppolo could move the ball, it was a no contest, because eventually the Niners defense is going to block up a pass or get a sack, which is inevitable. And because there is no depth to the Rams offense at this point, it's what you're going to get. So as I mentioned, until Cam Akers and McVay become friends again and they start running the ball, this is going to be LA's rest of the season. And some people are going to say that it's a Super Bowl hangover or whatnot. No, it's none of that. This is basic football. Run the ball and have a balanced offense. The Niners do that incredibly well. They now have the best running back in football. That includes JTT. And at the end of the day, Niners are about to hit a really, really hot stretch, and they are going to be a scary team moving forward. That NFC championship of Niners Eagles, to me, is all but written in stone already. So let's watch the rest of the season and see how it goes. As always, guys, please click like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know what you're thinking about this one. And as always, if there's a specific game that you want to see in the future that has either already happened or is going to happen, let me know. And I certainly will make that one of our future strategies of football.